hear that?
Made up movies, made up movies.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Made up movies, made up movies. Yeah, 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 yeah. Made up movies. Movies in your face now. Come and get an earful. Made up movies, made up movies. Hello and welcome to Made Up Movies. I'm your host, Matt Shore. With me, as always, is the E.T. to my Elliot, Mike Golar. Here he is.
Ouch.
Oh, no. Are you in
No,
pain,
I'm fine.
E.T.?
I was just pretending to be E.T. And it's fine
It's
because I
not
can
really
heal.
you? Damn it.
I can heal myself through the power of alien magic, so it's fine.
When was the last time you watched that film, by the way?
I have never seen it, so...
Really?
Nah, I've probably seen it. I don't know. I've probably seen it one time.
I watched it maybe 2 years ago, like right before COVID hit. And I forgot that, spoilers for E.T., if you haven't seen it, but E.T. dies at like 3/4 of the way through the movie.
Yeah, but then he goes back on a spaceship, doesn't he?
Right, yeah, but he gets better. It's a classic Spielberg Christian allegory.
Oh, E.T. is Jesus, and he has to rise again into space.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
So we're going to start this episode off. This is Made Up Movies. We're a show where we use our amazing idea helmets to go through the looking glass. You send us in ideas for fake movies that don't exist. We travel to another dimension. We watch the movies, and then we review them. We bring them back to you. We're like, here's what happened. So that's the basic thing.
It is exhausting to travel that much, but I know we do it because we love it, so...
We're just constantly hoping that next leap is the one that brings us home.
Yep. But it never is.
It never is. We have to just stay on. It's like Star Trek Voyager. Each week you just keep hoping and hoping it'll get better, but it never does. And you don't even have Jerry Ryan in a skin-tight
maybe that's not what we should compare it to Star Trek Voyager.
It's more like Deep Space Nine, because at the end of the episode, you feel like you're that guy who can turn into a bucket of liquid to go to sleep. You're just it takes so much alcohol to get you through each episode that you just
Russian
sloshed. Odo? I don't know if he's Russian.
I'm gonna be honest.
It seems like he moved at a pretty slow pace.
I've seen about as much Star Trek as I've seen E.T., so I'm not familiar.
All right. We'll just go back to Keith Moon references.
Thank you, Keith Moon. Yeah. Rockstar.
So I brought this to your attention earlier today, but on a recent episode of this show, we did a movie called A Hometown Halloween, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In which a guy is trapped by the devil to work in a spirit Halloween.
Yeah. Well, it's a Hallmark Halloween movie, basically, was what it was.
Right. But I just found out today via Variety that that they're actually making a Spirit Halloween movie starring, I forget the actress, but Christopher Lloyd. Yeah.
And Jessica Chastain. That's not right.
No. If it was Jessica
Rachel
Chastain.
Lee Cook. Rachel Lee Cook.
It's Rachel Lee Cook, not Rachel Evan Wood. Very different. So this is crazy to me because it feels like I didn't believe in manifesting until now, but it feels like...
Yeah, we put in the universe...
Granted, we didn't come up with the idea for the movie.
We watched it, though.
Did.
We watched the movie.
In another dimension, But I mean...
I don't know.
It feels weird. I was like, what if we actually came up with a good idea one of these weeks? And somebody... This is like that Mel Gibson movie Conspiracy Theory, where it's we came up with so many bullshit ones that eventually, just by, law of averages, we got one right.
Yeah. And then we went and they caught him because he read Catcher in the Rye so much. That's how they got him.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was about to say he kept it in the refrigerator to keep it safe, but that's actually Joey Tribbiani from Friends when he's reading The Shining. That's different. You might hear some noise in the background, some scratching. That's not a zombie guitar clawing its way out of the grave. That's my cat Meowth. I decided I'm not going to cage her up for this episode. She's a free roam cat.
Just let her roam free. I caged up my cat because he is a nuisance and he will make as much noise as possible.
Meowth is like more of a nuisance than Toki, though. His cat's name is Toki. I've cat sit for Toki. Toki's a wonderful lad. Meowth is much more problematic, but I'm hoping she won't be too bad. So if there's cat-based interruptions, that's part of
fun.
This week's
People
episode.
like cats. People like cats. It's fun.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on with this Spirit Halloween movie, but it's literally the premise of the movie is that kids break into the Spirit Halloween to stay overnight, but it's haunted by real spirits who control the animatronics.
Oh, that's weird, because that's literally sort of what happened in ours.
Literally what happens in this. There's no romance element. It's like more of a kid's movie, like Goosebumps. But ours was better, I feel like. Ours was more fun.
Ours was not, we had a way bigger demographic, ladies who watch Hallmark movies. And then,
exactly.
And we didn't have Christopher Lloyd, though he could have been the uncle.
He could have been the devil.
He could have been the devil. He could have been any of those characters. Doesn't matter.
So please write to Hollywood, just at the Hollywood Reporter on Twitter, at Hollywood, and tell them this is bullshit. You stole our movie. Be like John Turturro in Secret Window.
Our royalties. Ask them where our royalties are, because I want to know.
I feel like we should be the royalty right now, Hollywood royalty, because we just came up with $1 billion movie.
We're giving Hollywood all these free movies, and we're not getting anything in return.
But to be clear, the movies are real. We just watched them in another dimension. So
sure,
we're not making
but I'm saying we could have stolen this premise and made a movie with Christopher Lloyd, except it's so stupid that we wouldn't do it, right?
Christopher Lloyd only does legit movies now, like this or Piranha 3D. He doesn't just...
Oh, yeah, he wasn't Piranha 3D.
He's not just like working for a check. So, boycott the Spirit Halloween movie. Demand that a hometown Halloween be actually made. That's the movie you want to see.
He's so old. He's so old. Speaking of movies that...
I don't want to jinx it before Spirit Halloween comes out, but I'm constantly like, how are we like down Robin Williams and James Gandolfini and Philip Seymour Hoffman, but Christopher Lloyd is still just up and kicking?
He was old in Back to the Future. He did kind of look like Abe Vigoda, so yeah.
They do have the kind of the same sort of like long chin. I guess.
Long chin, old man. They're just funny guys.
Of long chins, though, would you say, okay, we've got a movie today. This is our first time covering a sequel, right? We haven't done any other sequels.
No, this is our, I mean... Some of these movies might have sequels, but they were all...
they might. Zombie Guitar, I think, has at least 4 sequels that we should cover at some point.
That was a good movie.
But Sound of Color actually does not have any sequels because all of the cast and crew were arrested after the events of the movie on screen, just like the love between the adult and the child in that movie, I think. Along with us, I feel like because we went into the other dimension to actually watch that, we're on some sort of interdimensional watch list now.
Yeah, we got to be careful next time we are traveling through the wormholes.
Yeah, and we had to be very careful, but because we were watching a movie that nobody wanted to see, we actually went to the other dimension and went to the discount bin at a 7-Eleven to find this one.
Funny story, in the other dimension, they're called 811s, which is kind of weird.
Whoa! You're freaking me out, dude.
Everything's the same, except it's just 8 instead of 11.
That's the one difference. This movie exists, and they're 811s, because it's 8 days a week. And in that universe, the Beatles wrote a song called 9 Days a Week. Yeah. It's just so the metaphor still tracks.
Yeah, it's not as good either. Yeah.
Yeah, this bit is terrible. Why am I...
Yeah, it's not good.
Yes, I thought it was bad too.
Okay,
and I'm the king of good bits.
No, that's not gonna happen. No, I'm nixing it. I'm yes knowing calendar.
Yes, no to Calendar. Everyone.
No, but
He's
Calendar
dead.
died.
I'm stabbing him right now. Calendar died on the way back to his own dimension. Okay, he's dead.
He's dead.
No, my sphincter. I didn't stab your sphincter. That's bullshit. He's just doing
so
that
hard to kill. He's so hard to kill.
Joker, sure. I'm back in this one too.
Right, let's tell him about the movie.
So this one is suggested by our good friend Aaron Ann, and Aaron Ann was kind enough not to give us too much about this movie going into it. So we went in blind, and it is the 4th movie in a series. So we were like really confused on this one.
I was a little lost to say the least.
It's called Gorb the Destroyer. That's Gorb, Gorb the Destroyer 4.
Everybody knows how to spell Gorb. You don't have to spell it out.
Do they? Is that a common name in the other dimension? Name.
Gorb Vidal, Al Gorb.
I don't think you're saying those right. I don't think that's like the board.
Former President Al Gorb.
Gorb? It doesn't sound right.
Futurama
writer Kristen Gorb? I don't know. It sounds weird to me.
I don't know.
Gorb the Destroyer 4, the word colon isn't in it. There is a colon. Oh, Meowth's jumping. She's on the desk. I'm sorry, guys. She's jumping all over the desk right now. I don't know if you can hear that.
Causing havoc.
If you love Raising Cane's as much as me and Meowth do, Meowth is literally trying to drink drinks from my straw right now. This is happening in real time. I will post a picture of Meowth on the feed later so you guys can really appreciate what's going on in Meowth Town. She's going to try to make she's like looking up at the dresser from the desk where she's at. She's like, I'm going to make a really dangerous jump while you guys are trying to record.
Do it.
Meowth, Meowth, you can do it. Meowth, Meowth. Everyone at home chant, Meowth, Meowth, you can do it. She won't be able to hear and she won't care either way. But, feelings. Anyway, this movie's called Gorb the Destroyer 4, Comin in Hot in Dallas.
Yeah. And I guess because it takes place in Dallas and I think that's the reason.
Well, but he does have sex at one point, so
he comes in hot in Dallas, but it's not spelled. It's Comin. It's not like a. I used.
Did you just see that, Kolar?
What? I can't see. I don't know. You were on recording.
Oh, I thought you were watching me on my video screen. All right.
No.
Meowth just did the most impressive, beautiful jump and is somehow immediately asleep. That's pretty impressive too. Okay, wow, I'm impressed. I don't know if you can hear that. If you could hear that, I'm sorry. You might have heard my cat's ass gently brushing noises. The microphone. That's what Meowth
You could just be faking cat noises and nobody would know.
Scritch, scritch, scritch.
That's
the fools at home think I actually have a cat. Oh, what fools. Okay, so Gorb the Destroyer 4, I literally didn't understand a fucking thing that happened in this movie.
It begins with like the end of 3, I guess, because they're like in the airport.
That's news to me. They're in. They are in the airport.
This is from Wikipedia.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea. Bring up the Wikipedias for this. You're typically on Wiki IMDb duty. You're our guy in the chair on this. So we're going to need to look up what happens in the first 3.
At the end of Gorb the Destroyer 3.
Yeah. Is he a hero or a villain? That's the one thing I didn't understand. Is it like a Wreck-It Ralph where he's becoming a hero but was a villain on his own planet? Or because if you want to know what Gorb looks like, he looks like kind of like an alien, but he also kind of like a barbarian.
Yeah, he's like He-Man-ish, but like light blue. It's very strange.
He has light blue flesh, but he has this weird quad strap across his chest, his bare chest that meets in a metal ring in the middle, sort of I don't know, He-Man or who's the other Beowulf? That's a great movie we all love.
Beowulf. Yes. Beowulf.
Who's the guy? Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, Conan the Barbarian, but
he's sort of like Conan, but he's from space, so he's an alien. I feel like in some scenes he has pointed ears, but it's unclear. It's maybe at some point the guy didn't want to wear them anymore, and so they're just okay, we're gonna. He
definitely has an elf ear thing going at some times, but not all the time. And I don't know. I think, like you said, they look fake, so maybe he took them off sometimes.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's part of the first 3 movies. Maybe he earned his ears. I don't know.
He earns them? I would think that by the 3rd one, you're I'm not fucking wearing that. Is that why he's wearing a skull cap in a lot of this movie? Because it kind of ruins his outfit.
At the end of the Gorb the Destroyer 3,
the
Gorbaning, the re-Gorbaning? Sorry, the re-Gorbaning.
The re-Gorbaning?
Yeah.
I'm looking this up.
So Gorb the Destroyer 2 is the Gorbaning. Gorb the Destroyer 3 is the re-Gorbaning.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm writing this down. Gorbaning. Wait. 2 is the Gorbaning. 3 is the Regorbening? I assume the first one doesn't have a subtitle.
No, it's Gorb the Destroyer, the original. So it's like they knew they were making...
What?
Yeah, that's what it says. That's the colon. Gorb the Destroyer, the original. They just went all in. Did they make all 4 movies at once?
Series on a new level now.
That's crazy to name that. Gorb the Destroyer,
so they knew this was... So is this part of a tax write-off scam or something?
You know, maybe. You know how like James Cameron filmed all the avatars like right now back to back? I think that's what they did.
Are you accusing Cameron of tax scams?
I'm saying
that's what's happening.
Probably, but also I'm saying he stole that idea from Gorb the Destroyer, and they just made these all at once. I don't know.
But isn't there something like where Uwe Boll like did that? He did some like producer's German tax code scam where it's like
probably that guy
could make more money with a flop than with a hit.
Oh, that's very possible because his movies are just...
mean?
Yeah. It's like the producer,
or like. Because there's like those movies that are kind of... This felt like... You remember, like, Beastmaster and, like... There was another one of these, Deathstalker. I remember a friend of the show, Robbie Carroll, made me go see Deathstalker 1 and 2 in a back-to-back screening at the Silent Movie Theater, where he later got married. That's cool. So I've seen at the same place where I saw Robbie and his wife get married. I saw The Lone Ranger, the Armie Hammer movie, and Armie Hammer is now like a famous cannibal, right?
Yeah, that's what he's famous for now.
And I saw the Evil Dead remake, at which point the lead actress of the Evil Dead remake was so drunk while watching the movie in the front row that she couldn't talk. She was supposed to be doing like a Doug Loves Movies thing where she was supposed to be making fun of her own role, but because it was her breakout role, she couldn't laugh at it. She just got uncomfortable. And her friend was there with her, who's the girl who plays Anne from Arrested Development. And she's like, wasn't this part funny? And she's like, I don't know. She's just like blackout, unfun, drunk.
That's awesome. Good for her.
So
I like that. I like that remake.
So anyway, this has a little bit of that Beastmaster thing, but Night Stalker 2. Wait, is that a Death Stalker? Night Stalker is Richard Ramirez.
Yeah,
that's an actual serial killer. Death Stalker is an 80s like sword and sorcery action adventure where the first one kind of takes itself seriously, and then the second one is like a Canon Films like basically near trauma B movie where it's just like absolute shit. And that's what this reminded me of, where it was just like MST3K fodder, where it's just like, this is complete trash and kind of knows it is. But my question to you is, Gorb, the original, you said was the first
Gorb the
one?
Original. Gorb the Destroyer, the original. So
were these all bargain basement from the get-go, or did it start, at some...
Gorb the Destroyer, 1990. Gorb the Destroyer, the Regorbening, 1991.
These are 90s films?
Yeah. Gorb the Destroyer 2. Gorb the Destroyer.
Why do they look 3, like this?
90. It's 90 to 92. So they filmed They filmed all 4 of these in 2 years.
What?
Yeah.
Is it the same
crazy
in all of them?
Yeah. That's insane.
That's impressive. And is the first... Did they like... So they got the same cast back, right?
Yeah.
Or is it one of those things where they switch the lady leads out? Like James Bond?
Gorb is played by Hamford Milken. That's a weird
Hamford?
Name. Hamford Milken is Gorb's name. So I don't know
I saw that name.
I don't know.
I thought that was a joke. That's the name of the actor in the beginning?
Hamford Milken is his name.
I thought they were doing something where they were like naming the characters at the beginning.
No, that's Gorb's actor's name. So
his name, that's not the name of the planet Gorb is from. It's the name of the actor. Okay.
No, Gorb is from... Where is Gorb from? I mean, they mention it.
Hamford Milken.
Hamford Milken.
Guys, we're starting to sell merchandise here, and if you want to get a Hamford Milken t-shirt, just write back in the comments to us.
He died in 1998.
Of what?
It doesn't say. It said undisclosed.
Well, if you want to get an R.I.P. Hanford Milken T-shirt, I mean, his estate's
It's only
got to be
45.
Cool.
Jesus.
It doesn't say how he died, though. I feel like he died.
I think it's probably drugs, man.
I mean
he looked like. I mean, he kind of looked like he was juicing a lot. So it's very possible.
That's true. It could just be that. I mean, that
Could
guy
be the
is on
juice.
some.
A little too much juice, if you know what I'm saying.
Friends, but that guy is on some David Choma style CrossFit binge. You know what I'm saying?
You know what he did? He died of doing too much CrossFit. Was the thing.
He died of doing. Watch out, Choma. Our good friend Choma from high school is one of the most swole motherfuckers you will ever see.
Yeah. Good luck getting an EpiPen in to your heart when you need it.
Kolar's jealous. Kolar's jealous of my tight relationship with the Choma.
I'm saying
Choma, if you want to get ripped, check out Choma's The Fit-imalist, like minimalist but fit. And he runs online stuff, and he does shows workout routines. He's been helping me lose weight. That's why I'm down to a slim 340 or whatever. That's not a good endorsement, I'm realizing.
340?
Something like that, right? I'm pretty svelte. I look Ethan supple.
Are you plugging Choma for free on our show? Or are you going to charge him afterwards?
I just feel bad for saying his heart's going to explode. That guy's tough.
Yeah, he's too tough. That's what I'm saying.
Don't listen, or Choma. Don't listen to the part earlier where I said I was eating Raisin Canes. That's not part of the workout. I care about my health.
There's coleslaw. It's fine. There's sauce.
My heart's gonna explode. That's the thing. It's like, will Choma's heart explode first because he's juicing so hard, or will mine explode just because I'm a lazy
from the sauce? From the sauce. From that good
the sauce.
Cane sauce. I love
the
that
sauce. Raisin Cane's is good because when you open the box, there's not a non-brown color in there.
It's all the same color, which is amazing.
It's all golden brown. Everything in the
delicious.
box.
I miss Raisin Canes.
Very good stuff. Raisin Canes, the Fit-imalist. Choma does 100. He did a thing earlier this year where he did 100 burpees a day for a month.
I could burp 100 times a day.
That's not what it is. That's not what it is. That's not what a burpee is. I know you can. I have to edit all of those out.
Well, I eat a lot. I'm gassy, and then I do a podcast.
Competitive with Choma? I'm starting to.
I'm gassy, and then I do a podcast. It's fine. Choma's cool. I like him. He's fine.
Yeah, that's not what you said right before this, where you said you printed out a picture of his face and you put it on an old mannequin that you and Babs used for illicit purposes at night.
Yeah, well, I punch it.
You said it was a COVID-safe way to experiment with a third party.
It is. It's like practice cucking. It's fine.
You use a dummy of Choma to practice cuck, but then you also use it to do your own workout, which you call Choma bashing, I think.
Well, yeah, you punch him, and he says, and then his little voice says, "Hey, don't punch me. I'm a jerk." And then you keep punching him.
Wait, he admits? So the fictional version of Choma that you invent admits that he's a jerk, and then you still punch him?
He says, "I'm a jerk," and then I punch him. And I'm like, "Oh, this is what you get, you stupid jerk."
How good it makes me feel to have two friends fighting over me right now. Choma's probably turned the episode off at this point.
I'm not fighting over you.
Sounds like you are, and I'm. This is the first time I've been in part of a love triangle.
I'm fighting a fictional version of him.
For me,
for myself, for my own ego.
Okay, well, that's not going anywhere. So I mean, Choma, if you're out there listening right now. Can you confirm for me right now that this is the fourth and final Gorb, or is there one after this? Since you're on the wiki,
that's a good question. Gorb the Destroyer. This is it. This is the Comin is the last one. It says Gorb the Destroyer 5. It does that thing where it's like in production, but it's like that's been in there for a minute. It looks like.
Right. Whoever made this movie, whoever the director of this franchise is. Probably out there trying to raise... But I mean, who's to say we can't beat him to the punch? I'm sure he's litigious, but he's not going to have money to fight us in court, right? We've got a buff dude right here.
Are you saying we should make Gorb 5?
Yeah, I'm saying we should make Gorb 5 with Choma as Gorb.
But I didn't like Gorb 4, and I didn't like Gorb 1 through 3. We can correct
the mistakes of the past.
But there's so many mistakes, I don't think it's worth correcting, is what I'm saying.
Well, maybe it's just like a clean break. Maybe we do like the Disney Plus Netflix original gritty remake thing.
Oh, we just gritty reboot Gorb.
Destroyer or Gorb or just something real clean like that.
Gorb, and it's like it's all sepia tone, and it looks...
no, I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be like Mindhunter, where it's like red and black. Yeah. It should look like Matt Reeves' The Batman, which is coming out to HBO Max surprisingly soon, probably by the time this is out. So that's exciting for me because I did not want to go to the movie theater for 3 hours. But
it's good. I saw it in 4D. It was great.
4D with the chairs that sprayed water in your face.
It was cool. Yeah, it's good. Makes movies better.
The movie theater experience of being at Universal Studios and getting a mild mist squirted on your face.
If you go to a 4D movie, a little tip: don't bring in White Claws because they will shake in your hands and get everywhere.
That's their revenge for you sneaking shit in.
They
like
should
the
sell White Claws
seats.
there, and they should be cheaper than $20. It's their own fault.
What they should sell is Texas toast everywhere because that stuff is like crack. And when you are carbo loading with your Texas toast, do some burpees right afterwards. It's balanced. The Fiddlemillis.
I'm beginning to. I mean, did you watch past the airport scene in Gorb the Destroyer? Because I'm beginning to think...
I watched it, but again, it was very hard for me to concentrate on this movie because I did not understand the context of anything. It also
did that weird 80s thing where it's like there's almost nudity all the time, which is annoying to me.
That's the thing. It felt like it was like Captain Ron or something.
Yeah.
Where it was like at some point this movie's gonna have titties, even though it also has like wacky gorillas or something.
Yeah,
like,
but it did not, and it was like, but Gorb is like it seems like
and if you're into men's pecs, you get a lot of Gorb.
A lot of Gorb, a lot of pale blue flesh Gorb. But
yeah, that's the thing is that his skin is blue, and at times
it also looks a little slimy.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he's sweating so much during all the hand-to-hand grappling and combat he does in this movie.
And it seems like it was just like like paste that they used it because it's like he looked a little sticky. You know what I mean?
He looked sticky, and it looks like you could see some of his pink human flesh underneath of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it just started to drip off throughout the movie.
Yeah.
So what's he doing in Dallas? It's okay. So we started like the airport scene.
He started at the airport, and
what were you trying to say about the 3 to the 4? That's what I don't understand. So the airport that we start with was the last scene of.
From my understanding, yes, the last scene in 3 is Gorb with the briefcase.
Do you know how fucked it is to see a dude with no shirt wearing a trench coat and carrying a briefcase? Like people seem to and underdressed at the same time, and that trench coat is not
be bothered by it, which is what they seem like it's a normal thing. So
how is a spaceman wearing a fur loincloth? How is that his uniform?
It doesn't make sense. And it's like so he has the briefcase, and it's that briefcase like from Pulp Fiction where it's like you don't know what's inside. Right, but I guess it's really important.
My question is, would we know if we had watched any of the previous movies, though?
I don't know, because these IMDb's are all, like, useless. It says, Gorb the Destroyer, the original. Gorb
might be
fights...
first and second people to watch this film.
Fights for the battle of his planet, is all the info it gives.
Wait, is Earth his planet now? Did he adopt us?
I don't know if maybe in the original was on his planet.
All right, fine.
That's the summary of 1. Gorb fights for the battle of his planet, and I don't even know if that's worded correctly.
Look, I'm just going to give the broad strokes of what I remember of this movie, right? So he's got the briefcase. He's at the airport. Something explodes at the airport. Then he's in a car to Dallas at some point. And I feel like he's on the step. You know, like in Rocky, when Rocky's running up the steps, there's like a scene on the steps that was like a press conference. And all I remember is like he's fighting constantly, which have to be like 4 or 5 of the same guys. They act like there's like 30,000 of these henchmen. He fights the same 30,000 henchmen over and over. It's just 4 guys wearing identical costumes. They remind me of like putties from from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where it's just like these weird gray outfits where it's like you can't tell, you can't see their faces. They look kind of lizardy, like Bosk, I guess.
And you know that it's like with putties, like he's gonna beat them. Like they always show up and they never lose to putties.
Right? Yeah, they're just stormtroopers. They're just like they're absolutely fucking useless. Yeah. There's never any challenge. It's just like they're there so he can throw them into dumpsters or off of railings so they can Wilhelm scream. Like they're completely useless.
But it was weird because like during the press conference, he's like talking about the book depository in Dallas, and it's like. It's almost like he was trying to solve JFK's murder.
But there's
no
time travel, so I don't understand how he's trying to do this.
He said, he's
not
like,
trying to prevent it. He's trying to solve it.
Like he's trying to solve it, I guess. And that's something in the briefcase. I guess it's evidence.
Right, because there is this whole thing with JFK. They make this big swing where they're like, Lee Harvey Oswald didn't do it. Yeah. It was one of these interdimensional alien guys.
Yeah.
Wait, are they from... Is it like Meat Cube where it's another dimension, or they're from another planet? They're aliens,
I don't think...
right?
I think they're aliens, but I don't think they know.
It's like when you ask the guy...
I wouldn't read too much into it.
You see that documentary about Troll 2, where they ask the director, they're like, you call it Troll 2, but there's no trolls in it. And he's like, of course there are trolls in it. Of course there are.
He's
like, no, you call them all goblins, not trolls. And he's like, he looks like this is the first fucking time he's ever thought about this. And he just looks like, oh, you fucking online tricksters trying to go. He's like,
you trolled me in real life.
You trolled me with the trolls. I goblined you, Nilbog.
So yeah, it's like he's like trying to. A lot of it is him trying to like clear Harvey Lee Oswald's name, which is like
Harvey Lee Oswald.
What was it? That's his
Lee
name.
Harvey Oswald.
Harvey Lee Oswald.
You switched the first. He's trying to clear Harvey Weinstein's name. He's like, this movie is insanely present.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald. Yeah. It would be really funny if they couldn't get the rights for whatever reason.
They just changed it.
They were like really scared of the. Oh no, we can't say he didn't kill him. That would ruin his whole franchise.
They're gonna get him. They're gonna get us just like they got Kennedy. That's what they were thinking.
Yeah. So they call him Sarah Lee Oswald. Then they get sued by the snack cake company. That's a whole other problem. No, but there's like this stupid thing where like it's unclear what's in the briefcase, but he always has the brief. The briefcase seems to only be there so that they could be like, oh no, the briefcase in every situation.
Yeah,
and like
he loses it a lot, and it's like just hold on to it or like handcuff it to yourself or something.
There's a scene where an eagle picks up the briefcase and they have to chase after it, and like even though Gorb normally only uses like melee weapons and like whatever's around and like throws chairs and stuff. He's like more of a melee guy. For whatever reason in the eagle scene, even though it's a bald eagle, they just have guns in the car because it's Texas, I guess. So many Texan movies on our feed already. Becky's going to love this. But like they try to shoot guns at a bald eagle to get the briefcase out of the sky.
Yeah. And
that didn't bother you at all? You were
it's a little. It was like it was shot so poorly that it looked like, you know what I mean? Like it was clearly like no birds were harmed in the making of this. Footage. Yeah. So it did not bother me. But yeah, I guess like killing a bald eagle is a little. It's almost like they were trying to say something about America, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean that's what a movie of this caliber really needs is political satire. But that's what it was like. It was like it was trying to say something about American politics and JFK and stuff. It was very
clearly I think it was just the director's like coke fueled like Mel Gibson
I've been trying to write this political
theory
thriller for years. I can only get the money for Gorb. Gorb is what the people want. The 20 people who buy these movies.
I've made 4 of them, and they're my opus. It was weird.
This is a movie that's sold because you mistake it for Conan, and the box art is a shirtless guy holding a sword to the heavens and like a sexy chick in a red Sonia metal bikini. That's like the whole movie.
But mostly she's like, besides the couple times where it's like apparently they have sex, it's mostly just her in the library, like looking through files. Like she's just trying to.
Her role is file looker in this movie.
Did you find those files yet?
No, I haven't found them yet. Wait, what's her name? Her name is, it's like something with an S. I don't know. But she's like
Sarah.
It's Sarah. So it's Gorb and Sarah. They're a perfect match. And so wait, I'm forgetting his name. Hamlock Milken or something?
Hamford Milken.
Hamford Milken. Hamlock. Just a kiss of Hamlock will poison. Hamlock is what you would use to kill Frank Reynolds on It's Always Sunny.
In another world, Hamford Milken is the governor of California and Arnold Schwarzenegger's
governor of Texas. In another world, it's Senator Hamford Milken instead of Ted Cruz. And that's the world I want to live in.
Me too,
and he only goes to Congress in the strappy, shirtless, like, I don't know, Fallout New Vegas.
I mean, we're not
tunic.
that far from electing somebody who looks exactly like Gorb.
Isn't there that dude who is like, a couple weeks ago was like, he was on some podcast like this one, but not as high quality. And he was like, he was being asked about whether interracial marriage should be decided at the state rights level. And he's like, yeah, I think that should be up to individual states to decide. And, like, I don't think he processed what he was saying at the time. Like, I think someone had told him, always make all the issues about state rights. It sounds more free to me. State rights. That, because you don't want the big national government, so state rights. Yeah. And it's just like, you could have asked him about anything. They're like, so what do you think about bestiality? And he'd just be like, state rights.
It's up to the states to decide.
Let's let the state. It's like, no, I think you can. They were just asking you if it was okay for white people to marry black people. You can.
Very clear answer to this one.
Yeah, you don't need to go state rights on that one. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. But the weird thing is, I think for the podcast he was on, I forget what the name of it, but he is like this like dude who I think is like a big cowboy hat wearing, sort of like, when I only saw his pictures when he was like doing his like walking out of the like the press conference, the down the stairs press conference, sort of like not as impressive as Gorb's press conference in Dallas, but like when he's walking down the stairs and they're like, did you mean what you said? And he's like trying to walk it back. He looked like a low rent, who was that guy who, Ted Nugent. He looked like a shittier Ted Nugent who like, he was trying so hard to be Choma, it was a little obvious. He was just like,
stop
I'm
referencing
sorry.
Choma. Nobody knows who Choma is.
Choma. Look up the Fiddle list. Once you see Choma's nips, they're basically in another state because of how big his
I'm going to punch that mannequin so hard tonight. You don't even fucking
He's
know.
so jealous. He wants to be the sexy one from high school. You can tell.
Punch him, stupid jerk mannequin.
I'm saying, if we make Gorb 5 or Gorb the Reshowening,
when we make it.
When we make this, I think I could play the villain, because there is a villain in this, and he's not. I mean, I don't want to insult myself or the villain too much, but he's not in the best shape. And he's
a lean 340.
He's a Santa Claus-esque gentleman. He's jovial in his eccentricity.
He does laugh a lot. His maniacal laugh is very.
It's kind of Santa-like.
Yeah,
he doesn't necessarily look like Santa because he has like a styled beard. They have done something to his beard where it almost feels like they put a corkscrew into his beard and then they hairsprayed it so that it comes off in like a rattlesnake spiral.
He's the only person in the entire movie who has facial hair, and that's how you know he's the bad guy.
But also he's kind of bald like me, but then he has hair on the back that's like long enough to be like Frasier hair. But then instead of it going down, he has like it's sort of pulled back into a Cindy Lou Who spike at the back of his head.
It's very strange. Yeah, it's very...
So his hair sort of looks like Mac Tonight. He looks like it forms like a big moon shape between the back of his hair.
It's very weird.
And
it's very Tim Burton-y and weird. And I did not... but his laugh was contagious. So it's like, it's hard to stay mad at him.
And he's an alien too, but he's not blue-colored. But he does have little blue... like coloration under. It looks like blue mascara under his eyes.
But that could just be mascara.
I think it could be just him also being like, look, if he's anything like me, he's gonna sweat even more than Gorb just being on film set. And they're like,
that's maybe
we can't keep this shit on him. Like, Gorb sweats from action. This guy sweats from eating a hoagie.
You're probably right. They probably tried it like day one, and then they're like, this isn't gonna work. We're wasting this paste.
It's not going to work. We're wasting paste. Look, maybe that's the inciting incident of making these movies, not just the tax scam and that they could get like enough money.
They're just trying to get rid of all this paste.
I mean, it all makes sense, though. If they could get producers to be like, hey, we're seeing a return on this, or we'll get a return no matter what, because it's only going to go on airlines or in bargain basements or some shit. Like, this could be one of those things where it's like, we just need movies coming into Blockbuster. We're going to put them on the shelves. Kids see the cover. They get it, no matter how shitty it is. We need a ton of this stuff. It doesn't matter what's actually in the box.
The covers look cool. It looks like it's going to be like you said, like it's a Conan ripoff.
Yeah, it looks like they spent all of the money, or probably not. They probably gave like the best fantasy cover artist in the world $90 per cover. And he's like, hey, all right, far out.
Got to make a living somehow.
right. He doesn't realize he's getting ripped off.
The Rings are going to be popular for another 10 years, so...
So the villain, I don't know his name either, but he has they call him Leader a lot. They call him Leader.
They just refer to him as Leader. If he has a real name, I do not know what it is.
His name is Leader for our purposes, and he's just like he has all the lizard putty guys, and they're all like, Leader, what should we do? He's like, find Gorb.
That's all they give, and they laugh, and they all laugh.
Bring me my reindeer. We have presents to deliver.
There really is. They are like They are like his elves. So. It's very possible.
Help a shoemaker.
It's very possible that Gorb is an escaped elf that he's trying to recapture. You know.
This is neither here nor there, but with all the J.K. Rowling controversy, I know you and I are both have historically been big Potterheads in the past.
Yeah,
I was
big
wondering
potheads.
When
is that the joke?
Not far off. But
yes.
Did you when you were reading the books initially, did you? I remember I thought, wow, these books are really thoughtful. Like the Death Eaters, they're like Nazis, and like the discrimination Hermione faces for being like, half human or whatever. Or no, her parents were human, but she was I don't know. But I'm like, the way J.K. Rowling talks about discrimination is really thoughtful. And like, it was only till like 2 years ago that I'm like, I think when I went to the Harry Potter world at Universal, and I'm like, you see all these like goblins counting money, and you're like, this feels like a racist caricature.
Yeah.
And then you think about the house elves, and they're like, hey, J.K. Rowling's like writing it on Pottermore. They are happy being slaves. They enjoy this. Like, did you clock that stuff while you were reading it?
No, I mean, I remember like I was young, but I just remember being like, man, J.K. Rowling really hates trans people. I just remember thinking that specifically.
You got that subtext immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
And that
more than anything.
But you kept reading the books.
It's still a magical world, but it's like. But there's a lot of hate in this world. But it's like
no, we support trans people here on this pod. I want to say that.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying
we love you. You're safe here.
She's not a good person.
No, but it sounds like you're not either. I mean, between that and your Cosby costume for Halloween,
at least I know. At least I noticed her hatred at a young age, and still gave her money.
I already bought all these books. I guess I got it. So good, it's got to get my money's worth. Even though I'll just highlight this stuff.
Long.
I'll blog about this later. Once society reaches a point with social media where we can just like gain clout by tearing each other down in public, this will really come in handy. I'm really gonna make bank on this. All right, back to Gorb.
Well, his plan is to recreate the parade that JFK was assassinated in, with him as the JFK.
That's right.
In place of JFK, to like lure Leader out. It doesn't make. It's a very convoluted plan
to prove that aliens were responsible for the JFK assassination by recreating the JFK assassination. This whole movie is a QAnon wet dream. You realize
basically,
that, right?
Yes.
And so the girl in this, Sarah, right? She is treated as a given in this story. So she must have been in the previous movies, right? Because she's not a new character.
Yeah, she's definitely not a new character. And I mean, he also has like that scene at the bar with those hippie looking dudes, and it's like clearly those guys are in the previous movies, but it doesn't.
Oh, is that what that was?
I guess. I mean,
because they kept referencing some, like, it felt like they had a bit that I was supposed to know.
Yeah,
and they were, but they also didn't seem important enough to the rest of the plot that they were just like, they're like, hey, let's get skunky, and I was like, what? Yeah. What does that mean? In what context?
Yeah, let's get skunky, and I guess that's was a catchphrase in the second one.
The second one? Were they even in the third one?
No, I don't know. It's like we have to watch them, but I don't want to watch them.
So in this piece of shit franchise, the third one is a big misstep, and they're like, we got to salvage this. Let's get skunky in here again. Let's get skunky. Really... So can I tell you, is that about like skunk weed, or is that about a literal skunk? Or
he probably, I mean, he looked like he stunk, but he also he smoked a lot of weed, so it could be a little from column A, a little from column B, you know.
Am I wrong, or did it look like he had a skunk on his shirt too? So like, are they trying to sell like merch for the movie? Let's get skunky merch within the movie about the movie, or is that the bit? Do the characters sell skunky merch? I don't.
Maybe, because I mean, you figure like with a movie like this, it is surprising it wasn't like a children's cartoon show at some point.
I mean, if Toxic Avenger got one, everyone was getting them. Every 90s movie, Ace Ventura, stuff that even wasn't for kids would get this.
Oh yeah, weird. Yeah. Police Academy. There were so many cartoons that should not have been.
What were they thinking? Toxic Avenger? That's how I learned about Toxic Avenger, was from
that movie's insane too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That was an animated series and an NES game. Anyway, so Sarah's in the previous one. So so Gorb's plan is to recreate the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah.
What is Leader's plan? To kill
also
Gorb?
I guess also to recreate it. I think it's like he doesn't realize that it's a setup, which is silly to me, because it's like, why is Gorb having a parade?
All right, so the thing I wasn't sure about was whether or not the leader in this is in every movie, because it didn't seem like he had a real relationship with Gorb. It felt like he was just a fill-in, like in Hunger Games or whatever, where they replace the villain but their job stays the same.
Okay, so like this is weird. So there's a leader in every movie, but it's a different leader in every movie. Like this is a
that's what I thought.
Yeah,
I thought Gorb has to like kill the leader in every movie.
Yeah,
but like
the leader's played by a different person every time.
So it's not as wait. But is it the same leader in every movie, or is it just a different? It just says leader.
He doesn't have another name. It's just leader. So I don't know if there's more than. I don't know if it's a different one. This up. Good luck. This Wikipedia is terrible.
Okay, hang on. Okay. Wait, I'm seeing... one of these names is Leslie, which I guess could be a man or a woman, but the picture is definitely of a lady.
Yeah.
So Leader was a lady at some point. So if it is
it's not the same. It's not the same one unless it's like.
Well, it might be. I mean, I don't want to.
Well, I guess there's multiple Spider-Mans. Why can't there be multiple leaders?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it seems like if I mean, he definitely fucking kills the leader at the end of this one, right? I mean, he throws him into like what seems to be some sort of like quantum wood chipper, and the leader just like screams and turns purple and splatters purple goo all over a wall.
It was gross.
It was really surprisingly gross for a movie that doesn't have any blood otherwise.
I know, but it was like it was worse than blood. I don't know what it was.
It was just like shredded purple bones and shit, and just
like
gross. And his hellish scream at like I don't know. It was
he was a good act. I mean, he was chewing the scenery, but he was fun.
He was having fun. Yeah, he was having a go.
He's like, I'm in Gorb the Destroyer. Oh, he's clearly like maybe he's like a stage actor, just fucking.
I think he was somebody's music teacher. He was like a middle school music teacher, and he's like, "Guess what, kids? I'm in a movie. You get to come to set." And the day the kids all came to set, they all see him put in the wood chipper and blood sprayed, and they're all just screaming and crying. Yeah, I have a horrible memory from when I was a kid. Okay, so Sarah's at the library for like
most of the
minutes,
movie.
but there is a sex scene between them, but it almost happens like shortly after they come to Dallas, right?
Yeah. Coming in hot in Dallas. That's maybe where the
coming
name
in
came
hot
from.
in Dallas. It still doesn't make that much. I mean, it's hot out.
It's Dallas, so it's hot. But I mean, Gorb's sweaty, and so's that other guy. But I mean,
also, it's weird that this movie breaks the naming convention a little bit too.
Yeah, it
right?
should be the Re-Gorbening
the original,
4.
the Gorbening, the Re-Gorbening, and coming in hot in Dallas.
Yes. Doesn't not follow the other three.
It doesn't make a lot of... Okay, I don't think this movie is perfect, is what I'm getting at.
I'm beginning to feel otherwise. I think it might be a perfect movie. And also, I'm beginning to think that Lee Harvey Oswald maybe had nothing to do with killing JFK.
Maybe it was aliens. We don't know.
Could have been aliens.
JFK, Roswell, FDR, Lyndon Johnson.
It's Lyndon Johnson.
Words.
It could be
History.
Lyndon Johnson. Lyndon
The
Johnson
Joker.
Could be Gorb.
Calendar. This is all important part of our culture.
It's all part of... It's just different spokes on a wheel, man. Going around and around. Freaking out.
I intend to break the wheel.
See?
Good show.
I am the
ending.
yoke. You know?
I am the walrus. Cuckoo, kajoo. And I just want to say, there was this part in this movie that I thought was like really bad writing. So like...
One part?
Yeah, well, one part in particular, or actually two parts I'd like to talk about in this movie that I thought were just like a little bit off.
Yeah.
So they're on this planet and they go to this rave, right?
Yeah.
And then Rey is trying to use her force powers to stop this transport, and then it explodes, and they're like, "Oh no, Chewbacca's dead!" And then a couple seconds later, they're like, "Oh no, he wasn't. It was a different transport."
Are you talking about Star Wars?
No, I don't think that would happen in a Star Wars movie. Those are usually better written than that.
Oh, yeah? What was the other?
So.
What was the other?
Well, the other part was that they're like, I'm pretty sure this was Gorb the Destroyer, because this, again, you'd have to be a pretty shitty writer to put this in like a huge Disney-made Star Wars movie. But like, they find this like ancient dagger, right?
Uh-huh.
And they go to this planet, and when they hold the dagger up from this one angle, that they just, it's like an ancient dagger, but somehow it like matches up with wreckage of like some sort of Death Star.
Oh, weird.
You know, I think it does sound like Star Wars now.
I think maybe you watched the new Star Wars movies instead of the End of Gorb the Destroyer.
No, because if this was like in a movie directed by someone who's paid a lot of money, like a J.J. Abrams type.
Yeah.
You'd think they would put a lot of effort into.
Well, you think they had like some
it.
thought or like care about it, right?
Or like plot out a trilogy if you're going to make a trilogy.
Well, yeah, just make a trilogy, just like plan it out in advance instead.
So that it doesn't feel like two directors are having a hissy fit fight.
Yeah.
Between each other that you pay $17 to see on opening night just so you can watch them argue in real time.
And it's like, it's like how like Gorb the Destroyer was like, it's like, oh, he's just a normal guy from a planet, and it's actually not. He's actually the son of
the leader.
The leader.
Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry. You're a little bit wrong on that. He's the grandson.
Oh, the grandson of the leader. Sorry,
because they're playing off that clear. It's like we all know the relationship between fathers and sons.
Well, but it was like, but it would have been nice if it was just like, oh, he's just a random person who could be a Jedi. I mean, a Gorb, and.
No, but I'm saying, like, we all know the familiar grandfather to grandchild relationship.
Oh, I mean,
that's a clear dynamic that we all know about. It's like, who can forget all of the clear grandfather relationships in the previous Gorb films?
Yeah. Really bad writing.
I'm starting to get these confused because they're both, on average, percentage-wise, the Gorb franchise and Star Wars have about the same number of good movies in them on average.
And that's only after seeing one Gorb movie, so.
Right, but I'm scrolling the wiki here, and it seems like, oh, you know what? A lot of that was from Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
the movies are similar.
I thought that maybe it was from Rise of Skywalker.
You know what it was? Is that there's a lot of talk about assassination in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt about the Star Wars franchise.
Oh, you thought it was assassinated?
I felt like I had been shot in the head And this was
by a crazy person who's fed up with the government.
Exactly. I wish Han had shot first into my scalp.
Jeez.
And that my brains, as they leaked out,
Jesus.
I'm like, that's the only logical explanation for why this movie is so dark, lousy.
Yeah.
But Baby Yoda's cute.
Baby Yoda's cute, but that's also a different...
Well, the thing I didn't get
that's
about
a show.
Gorb,
that's a show.
You know, there's Chirpy in Gorb,
yeah.
who's like this like puppet, but they don't... I'm sorry, you're all right?
No, sorry, I was thinking about Chirpy.
Yeah, Chirpy's kind of gross. That's the thing. It's like they're trying for like... It's like they only had like one Chirpy puppet and it broke, but like they're like, hey, we have to check on Chirpy. And so they open the trunk of the car and Chirpy, and he's like this little yellow... He looks like Alfred E. Newman, but an alien.
I think he must have been...
Magazine.
He must have been important in like the previous 3, and like you said, he broke. Yeah. Or the puppeteer died.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, I hope everyone in Rise of Skywalker.
Gorb.
I'm sorry.
It's not.
They both treated their characters so well. They had such respect for me as a viewer. All right, I think what I'm understanding here is that I'm never going to understand this movie without seeing the other ones.
We gotta see the other ones, unfortunately, and I don't want to watch this because the end of this movie also leaves it open for a 5th, which they didn't do.
Well,
obviously,
yet. Thing that we should. Oh yeah, that's true. We do have to film it. But the one thing I want to say though is like, speaking of getting your brains blown out while watching Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
that's what they do at the end of this movie because they. It's so stupid. Sarah is like at the library or at the book depository. I don't know what a depository is, but she's at a library.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between a book depository and a library?
I think one, you can take out books, and the other, that's where books go to die, baby.
And at a book suppository, you can only take that anally?
Yeah, you can only take it anally, correct.
So what happens is she finds like some missing like trajectory information about the JFK assassination, I guess, rushes it across town to Gorb. He's like, good, we're good to go. And so they get in the car and they start reenacting the thing, and then one of the leader's henchmen shoots at Gorb, but it's like a setup. I don't understand how he survived, because like he takes a bullet to the head and dies, and you're like, oh no, Gorb, and it's like it's unclear like what is happening there. But then he like presses it's not even like there's a button there, but he like presses the inside of the ring on his abs.
Yeah.
And he like teleports 5 feet away, and he's like, gotcha. It's like, what was the plan there?
His plan was to get shot, and I guess it was. It doesn't. And also,
there, we proved it. Aliens really did do it. I was like, what?
What is that? Yeah, aliens really did do it. And at this point, he had already killed. Like, the leader's dead, right? Like, his plan worked. His plan to capture the leader and throw him into a wood chipper worked. So it's like
he did that like 10 minutes earlier. So why were they still doing it?
I don't know. It's like that thing where it's
were they
like
under?
I don't know. Is it the new leader? That's what I think. I think it was the new leader in 5, which has not happened yet.
Okay, and the fucked up thing is then the skunk guys from the bar are the ones who take out the shooter goblin, and they're like, looks like a whole new generation's getting skunky. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they look directly into the camera, which is...
It's like, is that a spin-off? Are they doing a Bill and Ted with those guys?
I know. Is there a whole franchise brewing here? I wasn't completely sure.
Look, if you want a Hamford Milken t-shirt, or... like go on our Twitter. It's at Made Up Movies Pod. You can submit ideas for made up movies. Just like give us the log line and like what the title of the movie is. We'll go to the other dimension where Gorb lives or where Meat Cube lives, and we will watch the movie. We'll review it just like this one. What did you think about this movie? I would say 4 out of 10.
The thing is, I think we need to see the other movies before I feel like I can give it a fair rating right now.
If you would like us to watch the other movies in the Gorb franchise and really make sense of this, let us know. We'll start a Patreon. You can pay us $50 a month.
Yeah, to look into
to watch
this.
the other Gorbs. We will watch all of Rise of Skywalker over and over every episode. For
Let's not.
money.
I mean, that's not worth $50 a month at all.
It's worth no amount of money.
There's no amount of money you can pay me to do that.
But I would like some responses from you guys. Yeah, what kind of content you would like us to see? Do you want more Gorb? Do you want Rise of Skywalker? Do you want a chirpy shirt or a Hamford Milken shirt?
R.I.P. Hamford Milken.
Hamford Milken, he died the way he lived, swole as hell.
Probably on cocaine. Probably a little.
Check out the Fitimalist.
Yeah.
Choma, choma, choma.
Okay.
Choma Numaye. You know what I'm saying? Cola, are you punching?
I'm punching him right. Now? I'm about to go punch it. So if we can wrap this up, that'd be great.
Oh boy. All right. Thank you very much. Go to @MadeUpMoviesPod. Follow us on Twitter. Tell your friends. Submit some new movies. Our list is getting a little stale. We had to watch Gorb this week. Submit some new ones. Fake movies. We'll watch them. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everybody.
I'm gonna punch the shit out of you. You think you're handsome?
Oh, no! Golar! That's the real Choma. He just walked in. What are you doing?
Come here.
Oh, God. You don't want to get... Oh, my... Oh. Kolar just shattered his hand punching Choma. That's how strong that guy is.
He's so strong. Ouch.
Damn it.